Hi guys, welcome to a special reading that we are going to do for the total lunar eclipse on January 31st, 2018 in the sign of Leo at 11 degrees. This total lunar eclipse will be, the moon will be almost exactly conjunct Ceres, and Venus will be conjunct in South Node to South Node. The energies of the eclipse are dealing with parent-child dynamics, in particular specific to the mother, because Ceres' involvement in that and the legend or the mythology associated with Persephone, which deals with vegetation and harvest, reaping what you sow, the cycle of time, the balance of time, life and death, which fits when we consider Saturn being in Capricorn, this taking on more significance in our individual lives. The eclipse will probably continue to bring skeletons out the closet. We already saw this with the Me Too movement. All this recognition of wrongs and injustices coming to the forefront, things that were done way in the past coming up now. And I think this will continue. The best way to describe this eclipse, I think in the basis form, is the nursery rhyme Rockabye Baby. And if you don't recall, just quickly, Rockabye Baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle, and all. This is significant because the Sabian symbol for 11 degrees Leo is children play on a swing hanging from the branches of a huge oak tree. So again, you have this juxtaposition between youth and age, vitality and innocence, and the oak tree, the significance of the bough of the oak tree being ancient wisdom, strength, knowledge. So it fits this nursery rhyme to describe, I think, what we will see around this eclipse. People kind of being knocked off balance or knocked off their high horse, Leo, ego. Not to say Leos are on a high horse, but we're dealing a lot with Leo, ego energies. So we're going to jump into it. This is a special layout for Persephone, with Persephone, where we are going to look at the general energy. We're going to look at the connection, the key root issue. We're going to look at what is causing an inner hindrance to the process, fear, the overall issue of fear, illusions, what should be done, or what are the potential actions surrounding the eclipse, what has been hidden or can be hidden, and then the final kind of influence of the eclipse. This is not, the cards that I'm using now are dealing with past life energy or regressed thoughts, regressed memories. And if you don't believe in past lives, and if you don't believe in karma, or I'm sorry, yeah, you can even say karma, because I think it is reaping what you sow. And if you don't really follow this doctrine or dogma, religious ideology, then you can look at it like the things that you may have forgotten or influences from your far past, let's say childhood, and also for your partner. After we've done the general spread, we are going to try to do a spread for each sign, and this will stay on the table, the Persephone spread. So I've already shuffled the cards, and I'm going to go ahead and start and see where we are. I hope this video is finding all of you well and happy and feeling good. We have Leo Taurus in the Queen or the Empress, and again, these are not conventional tarot, and this is a perfect fit in terms of Leo Taurus energy This is Sun, Venus energy, and this is more or less exactly what we're dealing with. The Leo rules, that Sun rules Leo, and Venus will be conjunct the South Nodes. The Moon will be almost exactly conjunct Ceres, and this is why we're doing a Persephone. I hope I'm not getting too out of the way for you guys. It's not interesting. For me, it's totally interesting because I love Greek mythology. I love all mythology, but Greek is one of my favorite. Then we have the Moon. We have the Cancer Moon energy, which again is perfectly aligned to this eclipse, the mother and child energy, and this again is what we are dealing with. If I haven't said it, the Sabian symbol for 11 degrees Leo is children play on a swing hanging from the branches of a huge oak tree. So this fits. We also have farewell. By the way, the Moon was major arcana. We have farewell. We have the marionette, the puppet, Taurus Scorpio energy. And you guys, I'm going to pull the cards, but afterwards I'm going to have a look at them. We have mortification. This is the Virgo Scorpio energy. It's a man flogging himself. Doesn't look too great there. The magician, Leo Scorpio energy. Ah, perfect. I'm really happy about these both. This is a Leo, perfect Leo Sun energy, which is totally fitting for this. So we have the Moon and we have the Sun. This is a major arcana. It's the Father, the Servitor. So I'm really happy with the energies that are coming out here. And we've our final one for the eclipse of January 31, 2018 is Aries, Mars, the warrior. And this is another major arcana in this suite here. So I'm really happy with what we're seeing here. Sorry guys, I'm going to go ahead and light this again. Excuse me for that. I have a kind of a blowtorch lighter here. Let's see if it keeps it going. So this is right in sync with the energies, I think, of what we are here to try to analyze and get through. I think right offhand, and what's coming to me is issues around control. Control. I think this will be a quite rebellious eclipse energy. I think we will continue to see revelations, disturbing revelations in the media. I would make it similar to the Me Too movement. I think we will continue to see information coming out that is quite disturbing about people in authority. You may find out something in your own personal life, some issues about a confidant, a partner, an acquaintance that takes you off guard and surprises you. But control, 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 control yourself, control your temper, control your ego, control, get your ego in check. This is a lunar eclipse that is dealing with that ego energy and trying also to control other people in your life, control situations, and bend the laws of nature, but trying to bend the laws of what is and what is to be, what is to come. Sometimes you can think about what you would like to happen, and you can drive forward with your own goals and ideals, but ultimately it's not in our power to do this. We have to go with the flow. Again, this energy, Persephone type energy, and dealing with the harvest and reaping what you sow, is in sync with this, because nothing stays the same. This card is the card of farewell. Nothing stays the same. Everything will change. People in your life will come. People in your life will go. Relationships in your life will come. Relationships in your life will go. Nothing stands the test of time in terms of lasting forever. And even in your relationship, if you have the best and greatest relationship in the world, and you have a great partnership and not too many worries in terms of the stability of the partnership, still aspects of your relationship will change. There's aspects of your partner that you may have to say goodbye to. Things fade, things change. It's how it goes, and you can't stop that. There's no special formula. There's no special secret to making things last forever. And the drive to do this, to try to make a situation that may need to move on and go out of your life, or to try to hide your mind, to try to hide your thoughts, to try not to recognize aspects of life around you and changing conditions of life around you, is a futile effort. You have to recognize the fact that things will change and people change. So we're going to go ahead and, off of that theme, something is telling me that for each sign we should go ahead and lay down. We should go ahead and lay down over this. We're going to do an overlay of this for each one of the signs. And we're going to start off first with Capricorn. I would like to do Capricorn first. Capricorn. You guys feel a change coming. Perhaps you have tried to exert a certain effort of controlling people and situations around you. This is the marionette. I'm not sure if you can see that, but she's a puppet on a string. This is the alchemist. He's a magician, but I'm calling him the alchemist because it feels like an alchemist to me. Somebody trying to change lead into gold. I think Capricorn may be struggling with this, or they may be struggling with people in their sphere who are trying to exert a change that they're not looking forward to. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what that was in a moment after I pull out the cards and then relay this. This will be an extra card, the one that popped out, but it fits with the discussion at hand. This is just to show you that Three of Swords. We have the Eight of Swords over that Sun Venus energy of the Queen or the Empress, Leo, Taurus. We have the Nine of Cups over the eclipse itself, the moon, over the moon. We have the Nine of Coins or Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Ace of Cups, Four of Wands, and finally the Eight of Cups, Queen of Swords. If you're too commanding in terms of forcing action, forcing decisions, forcing others to take decisions around you who may not be ready to take decisions, this eclipse may bring on the energy of change, in that you may have people around you in your life that may be wanting to escape. They may want to get out, or you may want to get out of this forced energy, this dynamic of being cutting words, cutting, not mincing words, not trying to shield anyone's feelings or emotions, just telling it like it is. The eclipse will bring on the energy of Capricorn, or someone in Capricorn's life just wanting to tell it like it is, yeah. And ready at all costs to defend their views, their ideas. Very individualistic perspective. Again, this my way or the highway type energy. Being very forceful in the ideals of how things should run, how things should go, where resources should be allocated. And this may have a stifling energy for those around you and in your life, or for you. Maybe you're doing this to yourself. This is a man flogging himself. Maybe you're doing this to yourself. Maybe you're putting too much pressure on yourself to get it right. Maybe you're putting too much pressure on yourself to, or maybe you have people in your life who are not really picking up the slack in terms of responsibility for income or responsibility around the house, and this is making you feel a bit, yeah, trapped or controlled. So watch out for that, guys. I mean, it's just the eclipse energy, but the eclipse energy will be with us for a minute. It's going to be with us for a minute, so be careful for that, and try to keep in mind that forcing change can be, sometimes you have to force change. Let's face it, sometimes when things are a little bit out of control, you have to say, oh, no, 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 it's not going to happen like that, because you have to have your boundaries. You have to know where your boundaries lie. You have to know what you're going to take and what you're not going to take. But in general, try to be compromising, try to give some of the responsibility away for particular aspects at work, what you have to do or achieve, or projects, or even in the family life. Try to, if you can, let go of some of those things. You don't have to control everything. maybe you have to. Maybe you're in a situation where those around you are less willing to pick up the slack. They might be less willing to, and think that you can solve all the problems and fix it. But try to find a way to process this in that sometimes maybe you have to just let go. You have to just let go and see what happens. When the bow breaks, the cradle will fall. If someone else is going to fall, you might have to let them fall. Yeah? It's not that you're trying to teach anyone any hard lessons or you want to see anyone damaged or disappointed. But yeah, sometimes with those lessons in life, you have to go to the school of hard knocks, or you have to let tough love take over. You might be in a situation where tough love might need to prevail. And that is associated with the eclipse. So that was Capricorn. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. Because I am really excited about this eclipse. And let's continue to find out why. So we did Capricorn. Let's go into Aquarius. Life may be turned upside down. Turned upside down. You have a big surprise coming. Big surprise. Let's dive into this, guys. This is a Page of Swords, associated with that Leo ego energy. Your children, if you have children, if you have young people around you, may be a bit acting up, a rebellious teenager. You have a rebellious teenager energy where you are having to discuss what can be done, what should be done, what responsibilities are. Yes. We have, I keep wanting to lay the cards down, we have the Eight of Wands. You may be dealing with a little Leo. We have the High Priestess. We have the Devil. We have that Five of Swords back in the same exact position over the Magician. We're going to dive into the significance of that in a minute, because I think it is significant. Because with this eclipse, there is again an element of things coming to light. People who think that they can manipulate something or tell untruths or hide past indiscretions and think they're getting away with it, the law of reciprocity will rule. It always does. Things will come out of the closet. Things will be discovered. Hidden information, things that were hidden will come out. And this may be specifically with the Aquarius experience, but I think overall this is prevailing because this came back in the same position. Skeletons coming out of the closet. Secrets. We have the Seven of Coins, Page of Cups over the Leo Sun, and the Four of Coins over the Warrior, which is major arcana. Aquarius is going to have a proposition made to them. Something that seems to be a great ideal or great opportunity is going to come into their sphere, into their perspective. Take a risk. Take a risk. Consider taking a risk. I'm sorry, that's what I'm getting. Take a risk. I'm not telling you to take this offer that is coming to you, but it definitely might be something that you should do, because you want to hold on to what you have, and a bird in the hand is better than two in a bush, that's for sure. A bird in the hand is better than two in a bush, and you might be dealing with some fear that if you accept what is offered to you now, that it won't turn out to be as good as you thought it would be. But deep down inside, I think that you know that whatever this change is that's coming in on the back of this eclipse is going to give you some type of freedom, but maybe it's not the freedom that you really want. I get falling through air. You're going to feel like you're off balance. It's going to put you off balance. It's something that's going to make you feel off balance. Maybe you're falling in love, in a deep love, a quick love. Somebody coming in quick who seems quite exciting. And I would say if that's the case, consider it. Maybe experiment. Dip your foot in the water. Dip your foot in the water. The water. Okay, we're going to go for the next, which will be Pisces. And again, this is just the January 31. Leo at 11 degrees. Full lunar eclipse. Sabian symbol. Children play on a swing, hanging from the branches of a huge oak tree. Aquarius, try to be flexible. Considering the oak tree, try to be flexible. Sometimes, yeah, try to be flexible. Try to be flexible in your thinking as well. Try to be a little bit more obvious in your thinking. Not so elusive in how you're thinking or projecting your thoughts. Try to be, yeah, more direct. So, okay, let's go into the next reading. I'm going to take a break and get right back with you. Hi guys, I'm back again. I think we left off with Aquarius, and now we're going to go into Pisces. Major aspect of this eclipse is flexibility, being flexible, looking for flexible solutions. Trying to see gray areas. For Pisces, I would say it's almost just the opposite. This is what's coming through. For Pisces, try to get grounded. Try to be practical. Try to put your thoughts into actions. Please try to put your thoughts into actions. Please try to be practical in your thinking. This is the magician, the magi. I would think it's like the alchemist is coming through, like the alchemist again for Pisces, trying to turn lead into gold, and, this dreamy, a state of mind, which is great and exciting. But with the eclipse energy, try to take command of your situation and try to take practical steps to progress. Get a little drive and clear in the thinking. This is the last shuffle, and then we're going to dive into this. I'm going to take this as the first one. Take command. Take command. Take command of a situation. Take control of a situation. Be direct in how you are approaching your situation, people in your life. I'm cutting, guys. Just wanted to do that. I'm not sure why. Sorry, Six of Cups. You might be missing someone who's away from you now. For me, it's coming through that you're missing someone who's passed on. Could be, but you might also be missing a situation or ideal of what you think life should be or should have been at this point of the eclipse, where you find yourself now on the spectrum of time. Sorry guys, I think I misplaced that. This should be her. I'm sorry for that. I'll go back over it. But again, it's the energy is still the same. Pisces. Missing, for me, this is missing someone who's gone away, someone who's doesn't mean necessarily that they've passed on, but you're nostalgic, and this is right on the eclipse itself, on this dream-like energy. You may be dreaming about someone who was in your life and no longer there, and reminiscing over good times. This in particular might be specific to your mother or mother figure, and you're missing this person immensely. Now with this eclipse, maybe this eclipse is going to bring out, I think for a lot of people it's going to bring out the energy of nurturing in childhood, and this experience that you had with your mother for good or for bad, but missing this mother figure in your life, or missing a mother figure, and very nostalgic for this love, this feeling of mother. And also I think we're going to have a lot of the energy, maybe for Pisces, also associated with the mythology of the transitive state of the feminine, going from being the maiden to the mother to the mature woman. Finding your place and how you see yourself, the ego, how you see yourself, who you feel yourself to be at this state in your life. Seven of Swords. Sorry guys, I keep misplacing the cards. I'm going to go ahead and lay them down. The King of Coins and the Emperor, shadowing the Emperor on the other side, by the way. Sorry guys, I'm getting very distracted with your reading. We have the Knight of Cups and the Chariot. I think Pisces are feeling stuck, or someone in their life is feeling stuck, or they feel a bind of a kind, and it's more having the strength and the being courageous. You guys are finding your way to being courageous, and yeah, maybe you want to have more love and affection in your life, and you want to ask someone out on a date, or you want to take a chance with a new situation, a new relationship, or a new job, and you're still feeling like, since it wasn't ever really that way, that you're not sure if you can make it this way, that you can achieve those aims in your life. You're not sure how to go about doing it, but what you've done so far hasn't really worked for you, and you realize that you have this conflict. Maybe you feel like you're, yeah, maybe you feel a little bit, I'm trying to find a polite way to say this, like you want to be more direct, but you're not sure how. You're not sure how to be more direct and take control and take command of a situation. But yeah, I mean, I think you will continue to maybe have some inner conflict around this mixture of being going after what you want and being a little bit shy in exerting what you want. But maybe the eclipse energy, I feel like, is going to force you, it's going to force your hand. That's what I have. Sorry guys, that took so long to kind of pop through, but I can't control that. It just will be shared if it needs to be shared. Something is going to force your hand. Situation is going to force your hand in this. Maybe the other person is going to ask you out. I don't know if it's about that, but it feels an awful lot like that's about that. Or maybe someone's going to offer you a job and you didn't expect that, but you're going to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. Or a new assignment, something that you didn't think that you could do. Somehow you might be forced to do it. Nevertheless, you know, even if you think, I'm not sure I can do that, or I want to do that, or I'm not sure I want to take the risk to ask a certain person out and start to introduce love back in my life, but somebody might kind of grab you. Sorry guys. So we're moving on from Pisces to Aries. Reaping what you sow. I'm trying to keep reintroducing the themes for my own reference, guys. So Aries, I feel like you guys have it all figured out, and you are high as a kite, but not with mind-altering things like drugs or alcohol. You guys are high on life, and you're high on your ideas, and you're high on your confidence. You're loving this Leo energy, whether you're male or female. You feel like you got it all figured out. I'm going to leave that out. You feel like things are headed in a good direction. Try to remember, and don't be angry with me. I'm just here to give the energies as they come to me, and as they come to me, I'll keep it there. And when the bow breaks, the cradle will fall. So try to be try not to be the magic man. I'm sorry, that's just what came through. The magic man. Okay, we're going to go into this. It's good to be confident. Why not? Nobody has a problem with that, but try to keep that ego in check, because this eclipse is about that ego, Leo energy. We have the Page of Cups on top of the eclipse itself, the moon, very emotional. Emotional things are probably also going to, we keep getting that, going to come out for you about this feminine energy. If you're a male, you might miss this loving, sensual, feminine energy in your life right now. For me, it's coming across as very passionate, sexual type energy that represents the feminine. I feel like Aries is something coming through for you guys that you guys want something with this. You have you're excited about the changes that are coming with this eclipse, passionate about the changes that are coming with this eclipse. If you've had any challenges or problems still held over from this past year, you guys are driving right through that. You're forcing your way through the holdup. You're forcing your way through delays. You're forcing your way through stagnation. Forcing your way. That's the Queen of Swords, forcing your way through. You're not letting anybody tie you up. You're not letting, sorry for that, you're not letting anyone tie you down. You're not letting yourself hang you up with mental hang-ups. Whatever legacy issues you had, you're pushing out. Something about this eclipse, you're not taking it anymore. King of Coins, again on top of the mortification. Ace of Cups on top of the Magi. Four of Swords on top of the Sun itself. Sun and Leo on top of the eclipse itself. The Father, the Emperor. Four of Swords. And the Nine of Swords on top of the very Aries card, the Warrior. As we talked about earlier, you guys are in your element, and you are taking command and control of situations and probably of people. You're putting it out there what you expect, what your expectations are. You are making things happen. You are one that could very well turn lead into gold. Or you have others around you who are extremely capable. They're capable and practical and no nonsensical. No nonsensical, very practical people. Or your mindset is very practical around this eclipse. But even you must look out for, and this is what's coming through, so I just have to give you what comes. I'm not trying to edit too much when this happens. I like to go with it, but even you guys might, this eclipse might bring in some things about your own health and well-being that you might need to get on top of. I don't see it as anything serious, but it could be even something cosmetic. That's a part of that story, but you will have a hiatus. You will be with some aspect of hiatus. And maybe through this, through this aspect of being very commanding in how you address the people in your life, or the people to turn it around, very commanding of you, trying to control you and how you ought to do things, how they think you ought to do things, or how you feel people ought to do things. Might be a bit of a turnoff for you, this element of someone trying to control you. And maybe you spoke very strong, very strong. Yeah, you could, a burst, I feel a burst. Maybe all of a sudden everything came out very quickly, and some things were said that you can't really peel back again. And maybe perhaps you're a bit concerned that maybe some even financial moves that you've taken, or word movements, words that you've spoken, or actions that you've taken, you realize now that you can't take back. Like you want to go back and say kind words and kind things to maybe even people who have moved on, and you realize the importance of this fluid, also soft communication, because if you have an opportunity to speak to the person again, this is the farewell card. Sometimes the people who go out of your life, you have the opportunity to speak to them again, and you have the opportunity to communicate with them again. And if you have been very strong, even in a business sense, in how you've executed something, you can still go back to that person and make a correction. You can still go back to them and speak to them. But if it's someone who's no longer in your sphere, it's a bit more difficult to go offer, make a peace offering. And this might be, again, more specific to the mother figure in your life, or even I'm getting that, even the mother of your children, if you have children, that you may need to make an apology or try to repair something, but it's hard for you because sometimes it's hard to admit that you've made a mistake. We'll leave it there. Okay, that was intense, Aries. What's going on? You guys will figure it out, I'm sure. You know, someone might also owe you an apology, or you might feel like someone owes you an apology. But, you know, in a relationship of any kind that's significant or important to you, sometimes it's not really about being right. Sometimes it's more about being at peace. Okay. Taurus. Where are we for the eclipse of January 13? So what am I saying? January 31st. Flipped around. January 31st, 2018 at 11 degrees. Leo. The Sabian symbol for 11 to 12 degrees Leo is children play on a swing hanging from the branches of a huge oak tree. And I'm trying to repeat some things from the intro, because if you're, of course, not watching the whole video, you might miss out on something. This eclipse will be significant because we're dealing with Leo ego energy, very strong energies. And the cards that came up are consistent with this. We have the Sun, Venus energy. Venus is also has a significance with this eclipse because the Venus will be conjunct the South Node, and we're dealing with Persephone, Ceres energy. The moon will be almost exactly conjunct Ceres, which is dealing with Persephone in the mythology of Persephone, Greek mythology. And this is a Persephone layout, by the way, and it's very consistent. We even have the Cancer moon, and we have the Leo sun. And the energy of what's forgotten or hidden, the Leo sun. And this feels significant for Taurus because I feel like you are rediscovering yourself. You are rediscovering your past, and maybe you've forgotten a bit about the things that you wanted, and you're letting go of old dreams and ideas that you thought that you could manage. It's the Magician. And you're feeling quite disappointed, like you might have made a lot of mistakes or done something that damaged your process of success. But maybe with this eclipse you will find that that's not at all the case. This could be the other way, that someone feels that way about you, or you feel this way about someone else. This is not the case. I think you're going to rediscover this fact that, I got two cards, this fact that everything happens for a reason. That's what just comes through for you. Everything happens, you guys, well, everything happens for a reason. We're going to put these back. We have the Star card, we have the King of Coins, and we have the Ten of Swords. So again, this is the energy of, of feeling a little bit like you failed at something. And I know that the Taurus were dealing with this drive for justice, or feeling an injustice and trying to bring balance back to this scale of justice. And maybe you feel like you didn't accomplish that. Feeling quite sad about maybe the situation in your life. You're not completely happy with where you are right now in terms of your own goals or what you thought you could accomplish for your dreams and ideas. And this also could be mixed with, just as we have the Hermit and the Eight of Coins. And again, this is feeling like you maybe didn't accomplish everything that you had set out. And this time of year, we're all making these life reviews and going over what we were able to achieve and not achieve. And maybe even for the last year, maybe we don't have to take it all the way, make it an existential kind of, whoa, my life is not where I want it to be. But you might be feeling like that. Venus is also a ruler for Taurus, and as we said, the Venus is conjunct the South Node, so I think this will be significant eclipse for you. I'm going to go ahead and cut in. I'm being told to stop that now. King of Swords, Queen of Wands, Four of Wands, Nine of Coins, Seven of Swords. I think that's the Five of Clubs or the Five of Wands. The Eight of Coins and the Wheel of Fortune. So guys, I think we can just recap what we just said. I maybe can be more specific in that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. This is basically the outcome. Everything happens for a reason. And work is a part of life. Work in every aspect. Work on relationships. Work, physical work at work to produce an income or to produce a standard of living. It's a part of life. We all have our goals. We all have the responsibility to more or less produce, unless you're living somewhere that I don't know about. And we do our best to achieve our aim. We do our best to put that energy and time into achieving. And in the end, what will be, will be. Letting go, letting things happen. You haven't made mistakes. Even in partnerships, relationships, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I have to say that. Try not to punish yourself. Try not to punish others around you who you feel have done you wrong. Even if this is a work situation, just try to be consistent and not fall into the game. Not let anybody drag you into that game of tit for tat, you know. This is just going to break down your energy. You don't need that tit for tat action, whether it's with a partner or at work. Pull your punches. I just got that. Pull your punches. If you fall into that game of tit for tat and letting someone else outside of yourself control your thoughts or your actions, you are the marionette. You want to be independent and strong and have this energy to drive after your ideals and your goals. No one can control you, and not allowing anyone to control you. With subversively control you, you know. Not letting anybody press your buttons. Try to avoid letting anyone press your buttons. This is the King of Swords and the Empress energy. This is the Eclipse energy even of itself, in and of itself. And this is being in control of yourself, being in control of your emotions, being in control of your actions. Control of your actions, yeah. Try to remember those Sagittarian lessons as well. Try to remember that you are in control and no one else controls your fate. No one else can control your fate. No one can control fate, and what is happening is meant to happen. Even if it seems confusing. Saying goodbye and rebuilding. Getting this, saying goodbye and rebuilding, saying goodbye maybe to a cause. Saying goodbye to something you fought for. Something you fought for. Saying goodbye to a dream. Saying goodbye to a fight. And finding balance in this goodbye. Letting something go finally. Maybe a feud. Letting it go. You're bigger than this. You're bigger than this. You're bigger than... So I have to say that's just what came through. You know, if you get into a pig pen and if you fight with pigs, there's no clean action for that. There's no alchemy to take this fact away. If you get into a pig pen and you fight with pigs and you wallow with pigs, you're also going to get dirty. And nothing's going to change that fact. Yeah. So try not to stoop to anyone else's level. Try not to stoop to anyone else's games. Try not to take the bait. That's where we are. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Yeah, don't take the bait, guys. Excuse me. So that's what I have for Taurus. You guys are going to be okay. You know how this goes. You know, you're strong. Whatever this is has made you stronger. You're going to find your way out of it. You're going to come up with a solution. You're going to come up with a solution and a new idea that's going to take this aspect out of your life, whatever this is. So let's go straight into Gemini. Gemini, if you missed or you haven't heard any of the other readings, this is for the eclipse that will be in Leo at 11 degrees on January 31st, 2018. This is a Persephone spread because the eclipse will, the moon will be almost exactly conjunct Ceres, which deals with this mythology of Persephone. So I did a special spread with cards of symbology and astrology and mythology as well. And Venus will be conjunct the South Node. And I was very happy with the cards that were pulled. I'm just going to review them very quickly. We have that Leo Taurus Sun Venus energy of the Empress. We have the moon itself in the connection and root, which fits with this full lunar eclipse. I'm going to jump down here because I was quite excited about this making an appearance. This is what's forgotten, and this is the card of the ego, the sun itself. Since this is in Leo, this is exactly consistent. I think the energies are coming through quite fine. We have the card of farewell and goodbyes. This is what's kind of hindering you. We have the marionette, which is the fear of being controlled, a fear of being out of control. We have the Magi, which is, I think, no, it's not a major arcana in this deck, but we have the Magi or the Magician or the Alchemist in what you can do, which is a bit funny because this card is dealing with thinking that you can change uncontrollable energies, like changing lead into gold, which is, as far as I know, an impossible task. We already went over that one, sorry. In the position of what the illusion is, this is mortification. Man flogging himself. Looks kind of scary. And this is, I think, the only, no, there's two major arcana. The eclipse, the moon, is here as a major arcana in the connection and root issue. And in the outcome, we have the other major arcana, which is the warrior. This is the outcome you're going to fight. With this eclipse, the Sabian symbol for this eclipse at Leo at 11 degrees is children play on a swing hanging from the branches of a huge oak tree. And if we look at the juxtaposition between the youth and vitality of the little innocent child, that a child needs to be nurtured and cultivated as an individual to grow, we also have this kind of diametric opposite of this old massive oak tree, which symbolizes wisdom and knowledge, ancient knowledge, strength, but also a need for flexibility, because when the bough breaks, it breaks because of the strength of the tree. So after I reflected, I thought it came to me basically that a good example, because I thought what would be the best way, the easiest way to describe this eclipse. It was the nursery rhyme, Rock-a-bye baby. Rock-a-bye baby, on the treetop, when the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle, and all. And I think this is the energy of the eclipse. We will continue to see kind of skeletons come out of the closet, that people who have kind of put themselves above the law or put themselves above karma might have an awakening of a kind, might have a rectification of a situation or a reckoning, day of reckoning, reaping what you sow, Persephone, the harvest, reaping what you sow. Cycle of life and death, balance. Yeah, balance between male and female energies, We're starting to lose some light here, guys. Sorry for that. The sun is going down. But it is what it is, so I'm not going to jump up and stop now. So Gemini. The Hangman, the Ten of Wands, King of Swords, Seven of Cups, Four of Swords, Two of Cups, King of Wands, and finally the Page of Cups. Okay, so I think basically, and I'm going to try to drive right through this. Hey guys, things look good. You guys recognize this necessity to respect the laws of nature. This is bringing you power. This is bringing you the ability to create. This is bringing you the ability to recover from stagnation. And I think the eclipse will bring in some confusion for you, but somehow you will split this almost in two parts. Like the Gemini itself, it's almost like you're going to you can compartmentalize. You're going to compartmentalize. You will have the ability to compartmentalize your life into sections so that you can enjoy this love that seems to be coming in for you guys. You're feeling pretty great. The eclipse is going to bring in some gifts for you in terms of your work in particular. If you have your own business, probably more business and respect. You will have a great deal of respect associated with this eclipse from your work and also from your family or the people in your lives. And again, you're gonna start to recognize or take a better handle on your emotions. Maybe Gemini has avoided, you have avoided taking control of your emotions and recognizing your emotions. You have been putting them off on the side, and you have wanted to not feel things. You have wanted to make light of love, make light of yourself, make light of your health, make light of your relationships, and not take them too seriously. But now you will start to put more of a value on the people in your life and the relationships in your life, or people will have this approach with you that they are going to value you more, value your opinion more, value your ideals more. Before, you felt like you were forgotten, like you were neglected in a way, that people didn't take you seriously, and you were always trying to give your views for maybe some things that you did that didn't really seem to make sense to other people. But you were sure about it, your motivations for doing things. You were very clear in yourself about what you wanted to do and how you wanted to do it. And other people looked at it like you were silly or inconsistent or, yeah, and somehow you're going to take control of the situation, and that you recognize the value in how you think, and you recognize the value of feeling deep emotions. You come into a type of awakening with this. Maybe you really, really fall in love for the first time with this eclipse. It brings in a catalyst of recognizing such a passion in yourself or in new people coming into your life. You feel like a type of passion when before it was very hard for you to let your guard down and feel real hurt and feel real pain associated with emotions, in particular with love or with disappointments, losses even at work. Like you would just let it roll off your back and let it go. But now you realize that you don't want to do this anymore. You want to feel it, the good and the bad. You want to feel it. You want to dive into this new experience and this new awakening in your heart. Or those around you have this phenomena happening for them. So that's what I have for Gemini. I'm very excited for you because I feel like it's really going to be a rebirth of a kind. We're dealing with the cycles of life and death, and this is very fitting. And I feel like it's going to be an exciting time for you brought on by this change. And then you're going to start to feel everything. I just got that. Then you're going to start to feel everything. You know, don't be surprised if you find yourself crying and very emotional and yeah, very sensitive. You might take on this new sensitivity in yourself, and it's going to be exciting for you. And I think you're excited by it. So Gemini, and we're moving now into Leo. Leo. This one's for you. Just got that. This one's for you. Okay, you guys have more change and you're not excited about that, but let's see where this is going to go. You've had to deal with a lot of changes in life over the past several years. It came to a head in 2017. This change is expected. It's not going to take you off guard. It's not going to take you off guard, whatever this is. You're expecting this. You're ready to power your way through. You're going to find the inner strength to power your way through. You will power your way through whatever this is. You're not that concerned about it. Okay, you guys, we're going to dive into this pretty quick here. I'm going to call it out to you. Hey guys, sorry for that and sorry for the delay before I lay down my cards, but I just thought that I did do a real introduction for you. This eclipse will be at 11 degrees of Leo. The moon will be almost exactly conjunct Ceres, which is dealing with Persephone energy. And if you remember the story of Persephone in Greek mythology, she was kidnapped under the agreement, actually, of Zeus, even though they don't really say that. But she was kidnapped by Hades and taken to the underworld, and her mother, Demeter, was so upset that her daughter was away and she couldn't find her. And finally, the seasons developed because when she was away, she let the earth go barren, and the people were crying out for help to Zeus. And so finally, he convinced Hades to let Persephone come back, and Hades tricked her into eating the seeds of a pomegranate, and I think she ate 3 seeds. So that's why we have winter time when nothing grows, basically. That's a long story for that. But the significance of the story, though, is dealing with the harvest and reaping what you sow. And I think this eclipse will continue to bring out secrets far and wide in the wider world, and also secrets in our life. And I think it will bring on a type of reckoning. We're dealing with moon and sun energies. It's so we're dealing with mother and father energies, but I think the moon energy prevails because it is a full lunar eclipse. I was happy with the cards because we had exactly this come out. We had strong Leo energy come out in the position of what's hidden or forgotten. So this is the ego, the inner strength of the ego for the positive and negative, the dark and the light side of that. And also at the center of it, we have the eclipse itself, the moon card. Sorry, we have 3 major arcanas. I think in the last reading I said 2, but there are actually 3. We have the Leo sun, Emperor energy. We have the moon, the mother and child energy, and we have the warrior energy. I will show you the cards as I turn them over. So let's go ahead and start. We have the 8 of Wands. We have the Emperor. And again, this is just, it matches exactly here. Very strong. It's typically associated with Aries, but for me it's more Leo, reinforcing this power of the Leo and the being capable. You're very capable right now. You're very capable to cope. You are coping. And you have gained this strength and capability to cope with just about anything that's thrown at you. I'm sorry, I misplaced that. That should go here. Directly over the eclipse. So the eclipse will see you being extremely powerful and commanding, Leo. And it fits, because this is all about you right now. The 2 of Wands in the position of what is your hindrance or enemy. Enemy. In the 4th position, we have the 3 of Wands, and this is dealing with your fear or something you want to avoid. In the 5th position, we have what is the illusion, and it is temperance. In the 6th position, we have the Queen of Cups, and this is what you can do. In the 7th position, we have what's hidden, as we already said, and this is the Wheel of Fortune. And in the last position, we have the 8 of Coins, and this is the final outcome. You don't have to fight for help. It's coming. You don't have to fight for fairness. If something has happened that's unfair, or someone's did a injustice, or someone purposely trying to hurt you or damage you, I feel like you are protected. And even if this breaks through, whatever this action was that was taken against you, it will be resolved. You're going to get help with it. Whatever this is, you're going to get help with it. You have to be proactive in how you're dealing with this, though. Don't hide your head and don't run away from it. Don't hide your head. Deal with the things that you need to deal with. If you have administrative things that you need to deal with or handle, try to stay on top of that and recognize what the issue is. Try to be clear and interface and discuss with the people that you need to discuss with what the issue is, so you have a full understanding of what you need to do to fix it. And as soon as you kind of get in this mode of solving problems or solving challenges, even in relationships, everything will happen, everything will fall into place. But right now, I think for Leo, it's about communicating. You have to get out there and you have to find out what your options are and try to be logical about how you figure out the next step. Even if it's a relationship and you're apart from the person you want in your life, or you have a distance, or you have some other challenge, try to be a bit practical in how you can deal with it, because you can deal with it. You can find solutions. There are whatever is happening, there's a solution. But you're going to have to do a little research. You're going to have to do a little research. You're going to have to put some time into, researching or discussing. You have to contact the right person. You haven't contacted the right person yet. That just came through. You haven't contacted the right person yet. And you have to dig a little bit for information. Maybe you have to find something that you misplaced, but you need this, and you have to spend some time with, I got search and discovery. So Leo, maybe if you lost something that you were looking for, you're going to find it with this eclipse. Or something that you thought you threw away, or that something that was misplaced is going to pop out, and it's going to help to solve a lot of your issues right now. Virgo, if you missed the introduction, this eclipse is at 11 degrees Leo. The moon will be almost exactly conjunct Ceres, which deals with Persephone, and the mythology of Persephone is a Greek myth about a maiden that was kidnapped, abducted by Hades, and eventually returned, but it resulted in her having to go back for 3 months, and this is why we have winter. Venus will be conjunct the South Node, so this is a very maternal, feminine energy to this. So we have this diametric opposite between the energy of the Leo Sun in contrast to the moon. Soft versus hard, and sensual versus direct, dark, kind of. It's coming through for Virgo as that kind of this wanting to see a little bit of the dark side of life or things or relationship, and that's what I'm getting. Let's go ahead and cut in, guys. I'll read the cards out to you, the ones that have already been laid. This is the Persephone layout. We have the World card with the eclipse energy of the Sun and Venus, the Empress. This is the overall ego energy. Your world is changing. Your world has already changed a great deal in the past month. Even before the eclipse has already hit you guys. Everything's moving fast. Everything's turning around. Everything is changing quickly. Everything has changed quickly. And you were ready for this change. You expected it. You were ready for it. You're happy it's here. And you're rolling with it. You're rolling with it. It's what you wanted. And this eclipse is going to bring in more of what you want in your life, and more of what you want for yourself. It's going to open up the gateway. It's going to open up opportunities for you in life and in love. In life and in love. Maybe things haven't gone how you wanted them to go so far, but this eclipse will represent a turning point for Virgo. It's a very commanding energy coming through for you guys. You're going to have a direct improvement in your life situation, in your finances. Something that you've been wanting and expecting. Sorry, this is the farewell card, by the way. Saying goodbye. And for me, it's not saying goodbye really to people, even though you may have recently relocated, but it's more saying goodbye to the past situation that was. Saying goodbye to the past problems that you've had, in particular the past, not the problems, but challenges. You've had a lot of challenges, and maybe you've had challenges with taking control over your own life. This is the marionette with the Queen of Swords. Maybe you've had challenges with taking control of your power, taking control of your possibilities, taking control of your desires, recognizing them, and then reacting. Maybe you've sat down for a while. Maybe you've been sitting for a while and you've lost a little bit of that drive, but now you're going to pick it back up again very decisively, very clearly start to think about how you're going to make things happen for yourself and those around you, those who you love, friends and family as well. You're not leaving anybody behind. You don't plan to leave anybody behind. You're planning for yourself, and you're planning for the people who you care about, and bringing more stability into your life, into your goals, into your desires. In the fear position, we have mortification, which is a man flogging himself, and we have a mirror of this with the Nine of Swords. This is your fear. Maybe that things from your past are following you a little bit. And some mistakes that you made are still hanging over your head. They're still hanging over your head. You still have some things that you have to deal with that are hanging over your head, or maybe people are trying to hang things over your head, or maybe you're trying to hang things over other people's head. Maybe you're trying to give others around you a guilt trip, or others are trying to give you a guilt trip for standing up for yourself, or them standing up for themselves. Make you feel a little bit guilty about that, but I think you're going to drive forward with this new movement and progression in your life. And in the position of what you can do, we have the Alchemist and we have the Seven of Swords, which is very interesting. This is the first time we've had this energy show up in all the readings, that the Alchemist is trying to change. This is the Magician, thinks he has the power to outsmart what is, to outsmart the universe, to outsmart fate, to outsmart destiny. And he tries, but actually he will never make it there, because he doesn't have that ability or the knowledge he thinks he has. He is not enough to meet the task at hand. And with this Seven of Swords on top of this, in the position of what you can do, it looks like maybe you have to, or someone in your life is being a little bit sneaky and promising you they can do the impossible, or be careful of people making offers to you that seem a little bit unrealistic. Or try not to make offers to people to do things that you can't really do. Don't overextend yourself, you know, just try to keep it basic. Don't just keep it basic. Don't try to do anything that's gonna put you under stress or duress. Don't make promises to anybody right now. Look at this as a time to just kind of get balance back. And if you make promises to people that can't be kept, it's gonna have maybe a not so positive impact on you. And if someone's made promises to you that they haven't kept, just try to be grounded in that and realize sometimes people offer to do things with the greatest of intentions, and I think that was the case, but they couldn't follow through. They couldn't do it, or you couldn't. And there's no shame in that. Sometimes you just have to say, sorry, I couldn't do it. I thought I could, I wanted to at the time, but maybe I changed my mind now. I changed my mind. I'm looking out a little bit more for me. I'm trying to get myself back into balance. This is the really Leo energy of this eclipse at 11 degrees. The Sabian symbol is children play on a swing hanging from the branches of a huge oak tree. So we have this juxtaposition between innocence and strength and knowledge. So it's like you're taking that innocent Virgo energy and you're transmuting it when necessary, which is now, to this more mature, staid, persistent, consistent, being reliable, searching for others who are consistent and reliable in your life. This eclipse is going to bring consistency into your life. Consistent people, people who keep their word, people who can deliver. Finally, we get there. It's going to bring people who can deliver their promises. Or it's going to put you more in a position to deliver your promises that you made. And finally, the Hangman. Both major arcana. The Hangman against the Warrior for the final outcome. And this is really interesting prospect. Hold on, let me see this for a second. Okay. Don't try to move too fast. Don't try to, you want to change everything now. You want this, you see your power, you're finding your power, and you want to change everything really quickly because you feel this coming in very strong for you, and you're doing this and that. I feel like you're on a scramble, you're riding this wave. You're riding this wave. Yeah, you're riding this wave, but you know this is the marionette, and if somebody is pulling too hard or flashing too hard, you can break one of those strings, and then an arm or a head or a leg falls off the movement, it falls off the story, it falls off the track. So it's like, just take your time with this energy. Take your time with it. Don't try to force too much right now with this eclipse. Just feel your way through a little bit with that. So that's what I have for Virgo. We're going to go to Libra. Hey Libras, there will be an eclipse at 11 degrees of Leo. The Sabian symbol for Leo at 11 degrees Leo is children play on a swing hanging from a huge oak tree. This energy of the Leo 11 degree eclipse, the moon is almost exactly conjunct Ceres, which deals with the legend and the mythology of Persephone. And this is a Persephone spread. And the cards came out exactly matching the energy in terms of the Leo sun made an appearance in the father or the emperor. We have the mother, the moon itself, make an appearance as the mother and child. Let me show you those cards. And at the top of this, we have the Leo. Venus energy, because Venus will be conjunct the South Node. So this is letting me know that the energies for this eclipse did come through, and it feels to me like, and what I'm sensing and what is being conveyed to me is that we can't change the nature of what is. We cannot change the nature of our societal conditions. And to a certain extent, we are controlled, and we're familiar with this, and we all play our part in this for better or for worse, positive and for negative, and this is going to continue. I think the eclipse will bring secrets out. People who did things that they shouldn't really be doing, the Magician, are going to be discovered. See the sun shining out behind that guy. It's a Leo energy. And I thought another good way to describe this eclipse was the nursery rhyme, Rockabye baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle and all. And I think this will bring this aspect of, in both on a macro and micro level, of people being discovered for who they are, and maybe some things coming out the closet. I'm going to take a quick break, guys, before I start your reading, because I've been at this for well over an hour, and I'll be right back with you in a second. Thank you, and I'll see you in about 2 minutes. Guys, I'm back. Had to take a quick little break. I'm a bit more rejuvenated for the Libra reading. With the eclipse for Libra, I already had 2 of Swords come, which is a very Libra energy. Not to pick on Libras, because I know it's not nice to generalize and say that Libras, excuse me, are indecisive. But this just kind of lets me know that we're on the right track. Sorry for that. I think, and what's coming to me is that you are not indecisive, actually. With this eclipse, it's just bringing more clarity. Things, information that you should have had a long time ago have already come to light, and you're beating yourself up a bit because you feel like there were things that you should have seen in other people that you missed. And you're starting to discover who people really are. This is the marionette. Someone that maybe has been very controlling with you and trying to make you almost do things or commit to things that are wrong, that you know are wrong or not right or correct, ethically or morally. We have, sorry guys, directly at the head of the reading, to match exactly with this eclipse energy, we have the 2 of Wands, which kind of match the 2 of Swords. But again, I don't think this is you being indecisive. I think you've already weighed the pros and cons of whatever this is, and you've already taken the decision. You've taken command and control of the situation, in that you know what to do, and you know what you want to do. You know what's right, you know what's wrong. I'm getting this. You know what's right, you know what's wrong. In the position of what's connecting you, or what the root issue is love. And you had this relationship or feeling recently, or even now, or the eclipse will bring this back in again, or revitalize this energy, or readdress this energy of a connection, a very strong connection that you had with another person. And even if this is something that you let go of, it's, the emotions are still there. You haven't let go of the emotions yet with somebody, something. We have on top of the farewell, we have the death card, major arcana. And again, to me, this feels like this is the hindrance, this is what's blocking you, or your kind of inner enemy is maybe not wanting to say goodbye to a situation or to a person, and feeling like you can change things back. You want to get back to a place that you can't get back to anymore. You want to go backwards. You can't go backwards anymore. You can't go back anymore. And you may want to go back to a nicer time, but you can't get back there anymore. This time has passed now. In the position of what the illusion is, you have the mortification and you have the Seven of Wands, and this is a feeling like it's almost like you know that this, whatever this was that you've let go of typically, or you've recognized the need to let go of, you know that it wasn't good for you. And even yourself, you can't really understand why you have this conflict in yourself, that you know what's good for you, you know what's right for you, you know what's better for you, but you still are struggling with this good feeling that you once had, or that you want, that you felt, that you recognized with somebody, and you can't stop feeling the way you feel about it, and it's making you feel bad that you can't turn the emotions off with a switch. You cannot turn the emotions off with a switch. And you want to be able to, this is the Magi, the alchemist, the magician, you want to be able to manipulate this passion, you want to be able to manipulate the situation. You were in love, or you felt in love, or you liked something a great deal about your life. It could have been a situation or a job, and you want to get back to a former state that doesn't exist anymore, a former situation that doesn't exist anymore, or someone wants this with you, and this, you can't just change things like this. Sometimes you get to the point of no return, and you can't make a magic concoction or a magic spell just to make yourself feel better, and you can't just make a magic situation or magic spell to make someone love you, and you can't just make you can manipulate things in that way. But you might find yourself with this eclipse wanting to make a magic situation that will bring this lover, or this love situation, or a lover into your life, but you kind of recognize that you can't do it, but you would like to do it if you could. But your strength is in recognizing that you can enjoy, even though it might feel like you're a little bit trapped in the past, you can take as much time as you need to enjoy those former good times, and you can pretend, almost, you can pretend like the situation is still there, and you can pretend like the person is still there, and you can still reminisce, and you can still have fun with recalling certain things that you did that you enjoyed. And maybe this will also be a type of a catalyst, like you're manifesting and you're creating your new state and your new reality with this type of dreaming. Maybe not fight this ego aspect, not fight it, just let it be. If you're still in your emotions and you still have a passion, a sexual attraction to that person, or to a new person or a new thing, just let it go. Let it fall away naturally. Don't try to force yourself to forget. And this lets me know that we're talking about you. We have the King of Swords with the Warrior Major Arcana at the final outcome, and the final outcome is just you kind of letting it go and getting it back again, and finding the passion back again with yourself, and just being happy with yourself, and recognizing that no one can fix you and you can't fix anybody else. Whoever this was that was there with you wasn't really maybe the best person for you. It was just an experience, and you can take that experience and you can let it be the basis of something else, and learn how to recognize sooner when maybe you're being taken advantage of, or even if you're taking advantage of someone else. Try to be more honest with your desires and speak out more, because I feel like at the basis of this, maybe you didn't speak out soon enough. You didn't speak out soon enough about the things that were happening that you didn't really appreciate. But you know this now, and you're gonna take this with you as you move forward in your new relationship, because I think you have other people around you who are interested, but you're still kind of stuck somewhere else. And I think you also have maybe some regrets on how you handled things, not just with this person, but with the other people around you, that you neglected other people and situations around you. And maybe you're realizing with this moral, ethical thing that we talked about earlier, that you want to kind of get things back on track and just not necessarily apologize to the people directly, but just make peace with yourself and maybe behave differently with the people who have been there for you. Okay, that's what I have, guys. We're moving on from Libra to Scorpio, Pisces. What am I saying? I don't know why I said Pisces. We're moving on to Scorpio. And we do have a lot of Scorpio energy on the table. A lot, actually. Scorpio, I did an intro for everybody else about what this eclipse was about, and I don't want to tell you anything else except for about Persephone. If you remember this Greek mythology, she was a goddess. I think she was the daughter of Zeus and Demeter, who was hidden by her mom away from all the potential other lover gods who wanted her, because her daughter, Cora was her first name, was so gorgeous. Everybody wanted her. And Hades kidnapped her and took her to the underworld, and her mother got so depressed and so sad that she stopped all progression in terms of vegetation and harvest on the planet. And then things had to change, and Zeus told Hades he had to give her. Guys, I lost the feed. I recorded too much, so I have to kind of finish up that story. But long story short, Persephone was allowed to go back home, but Hades tricked her, and she ate 3 seeds from a pomegranate, which doesn't seem like very much for the trade. And by eating those 3 seeds, she lost 3 months of her life, and she has to go back to the underworld every 3 months. And this is why we have seasons. I did a much longer intro for all the other signs, but for Scorpio, that's what I have been led to tell you. So I think you are dealing with, and it's very consistent, because the Scorpio energy is about the phoenix energy and the cycle of life and death. And I think this eclipse on January 31st is going to bring these issues up for you. Surrender. I'm getting surrender. Surrender. Let's see what we're dealing with here. I give up. We have the King of Cups with the head of the reading, Sun, Venus energy, which fits because this eclipse is in Leo at 11 degrees. We have the Devil on top of the moon, which is some very strong energy, because there's not very many major arcana, but this major arcana, we were talking about Hades and the underworld, and I guess we called that up. right on top of the moon. And for me, this is coming through as Scorpio wants to be a little bit naughty. We have the World card, another major arcana, with farewell. This is in the position of what's your inner hidden enemy, what's holding you back. We have the Eight of Clubs in the position of your fear and the marionette, the puppet, fear. We have in the position of the illusion is communication on top of the mortification. It's a very Scorpio card, Virgo Scorpio energy. We have in the position of what you can do, the Two of Swords with the Magician or the Alchemist. In the position of what's hidden from you, we have the Five of Cups. And finally, on the last position, the outcome, we have the Warrior, major arcana with the wands. And I'm just going to get to it, because what's coming through for me with this is that you guys or someone in your close proximity is really hot for you, or you're hot for them, or you guys are just having like a bit of that Hades dark energy. And this, okay, I'm just going to be very direct because I feel the need to, and I wanted to go straight into that story. You know, Hades kidnapped Cora. She later became Persephone, and this is a Persephone spread that I did. He kidnapped her, and actually he forced himself on her, and this was under the agreement of her father Zeus. And it's a heady story. I mean, it's a dark story. It has really a lot of darkness to it, and I think that this is right up your alley right now. This is the moon. This is the eclipse. Right now, this moon will find you in your element, that you're not afraid of the unknown. You're not afraid of the big bad wolf. I just get that, sorry. You're not afraid. It's like, bring it on. The more alternative and the more unusual it is, it might be what you feel that you need right now, or even your partner might be feeling that's what they need in their life right now. It's sexually charged for sure. And maybe you'll have a really strong libido energy right now. This is the Five of Cups, but I'm not seeing it as anything negative. This is in the position of the eclipse itself, because we have that Leo father energy here with the Five of Cups. And for me, this is like you forgot about coupling. You have an opportunity to couple, and you're going to take it. Someone new is coming in for you after a while. I feel like this is for those Scorpios who have been alone for quite a bit of time, and someone new is coming through, and they are going to take control in a way of your heart and soul. Guys, I'm just telling you what's coming, and you're going to like it. You're going to like being controlled. You're going to like being kidnapped, or the other person will like you being your... Sorry guys, we got cut off. I lost battery power, but basically I thought more about it when I finished, and I got whatever you're selling, they're buying, and whatever and vice versa. Like whatever you're selling, they're buying. someone wants you, or you want somebody else, and you're a willing captive. To the contrary of the Persephone story, and please don't get too deep into that and this darker aspect of the mythological story. You're a willing and happy captive. Remember, we have the devil there. You're a willing and happy captive to a type of a light obsession, or vice versa. But it has light energies to it. It's nothing that's hurting you. Okay, so after Scorpio, we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius, this was up for you also in the weekly reading, by the way. And Sagittarius, I'm also not going to dive into the background of the reading. If you would like, please go to the beginning and listen to the nature of the eclipse. It's an eclipse at 11 degrees in Leo. And I think we're going to leave it there for you. I think you will continue to have conditions in your life improve day by day. And if the conditions, I just got that, if the conditions are not improving, your outlook is improving. Your outlook, your attitude is improving. Your optimism is coming back. It's not how it was before though, guys. You're a more realistic optimist. You have a lot more realism to your optimism. So I want to, okay, we'll just keep going. Okay, I think it's ready. I think we're ready. This is a Persephone layout because the nature of the eclipse was that the moon is conjunct Ceres, almost directly conjunct, and that's the energy. It has the energy of Persephone. Sorry guys, I wanted to stop, but something said go again. Oh, was Hangman. Bit frazzled. I'm a Sagittarius, by the way, full disclosure. Little happiness coming back into life. We have the King of Cups, and I think, who else had this? I think it might have just even been Scorpio that had the King of Cups with the Empress. This is the eclipse energy here. We have the Sun, Venus energy here. This came up for the reading. This is a basis of the reading, the Persephone layout. We have the moon, which made an appearance that lets me know that the energy of the reading is on track for the eclipse on January 31st. And we have the Leo card, the Father card, Major Arcana, as well as the moon. So, for Sagittarius, let's go. I want to keep going. We have on the moon card, we have the Two of Swords. And to me, this is just more consistency with the eclipse. You see, there is a type of eclipse or crescent moon in the back. So I think the eclipse will bring in quite a conundrum. I have a conundrum with maybe a bit of blockage with letting go of past emotions. Sometimes when you are dealing with a struggle and the struggle ends, it can be a bit hard to recognize that the struggle has ended. Recognize that the struggle has ended. This is the marionette. That you're not captured anymore, and you have more control to move, and you have more movement of thought. Maybe your thoughts were blocked. You had a blockage in your thought, and that could be like a blockage in your optimism. This is also a thought process. It's clearing. This is clearing. With the fear in the position of the illusion, with the position of the illusion, you have mortification, and you have the Three of Swords. And this is the illusion, and the illusion has to deal with a belief that Sagittarius has been broken. A belief that you've lost out, that you've lost something, someone. But I'm getting that this someone was never yours, or you never really belonged to them either. Or a situation, if you lost a job, or you lost money or something like that. Money comes, money goes. Love is also money, guys. Money comes, money goes. This is a card of farewell, saying goodbye. And yeah, it's okay. It's okay, let the energy move on and out. I think Virgo got this too, guys, by the way. The position of the magician, or the magi, or the alchemist, a person who thinks that they can control the elements and control the uncontrollable existence of what is. Let's say the alchemist who wants to turn lead into gold. You have the Seven of Swords, and this is in the position of what you can do. And this is coming across as trick yourself. Fake it till you make it. This is what I have. Fake it till you make it. If you're not 100% positive yet, okay. Pretend like you are. If you don't have the great lover yet, pretend like you have them. If you don't have a solution for your job situation, pretend like you have it. Fake it till you make it. Trick yourself into believing that you already have these things in hand. In the position of what's forgotten and hidden, you have the Emperor. I'm sorry, you have, yeah, it is the equivalent of the Emperor, but here it's called the Father card, and it's the ego, it's the Sun, it's Leo. This is the Eclipse. As I told you, I was happy about the energies that came through in the cards. And you have the Eight of Wands. And this is what's hidden, that even though you have been in an internal hiatus, I think you have withdrawn into yourself. You're still yourself, the power is still there. This was also in the weekly reading, and it will come quicker, quicker, quicker. Things will accelerate. You're recognizing the potential for happiness again will accelerate. And I'm going to pull these up together because you have the Empress and the Emperor around this Leo eclipse. And it's all positivity on the horizon. It's all positive on the horizon. You know, you can't say hard times are over because it's a part of life. But things are definitely looking up, and yeah, things are definitely improving. You've had to get over some trials and tribulations, and maybe you're afraid that they're still going to come back, or things will be as bad as they have been, probably have been, but yeah, maybe they do, maybe they don't. It's the cycle of life. This eclipse is dealing with cycles of life and death, and just the cyclical nature of life and time. This is the Moon card with the Two of Swords. This is a knowledge that what goes up must come down, and this aspect of riding the wave. See these waves, 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 riding the waves. You're riding the waves. You're riding the waves of life. And it will continue. Things get better now, though. Things are getting better. Again, you're still, this is the Warrior. This is the major arcana, and it's dealing with the Aries, Mars energy. And you have the Eight of Swords. And this is in the position of your outcome and how this in respect to the eclipse energy of January 31. So let me look at this for a second. Again, this is another fake it till you make it energy. We have the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Swords. And for me, again, this is fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. You may not be 100% recovered in terms of your finances or love or relationships, and you're still dealing with a lot of past hurts. Maybe you lashed out in a way that you wish that you hadn't during this very challenging time in your life, and you're somehow you wish that you have behaved differently, or that you didn't put your best foot forward. You didn't put your best foot forward, but you've done the best that you can do. You did the best that you can do at the time. And with this fake it till you make it aspect, carry it forward. From the 7 of Swords to the 8 of Swords, you felt bound, you were restricted, you had things, hard lessons that you probably had to go through. And now you feel a bit affected still by that. The energy is waning. But take this like fake it till you make it. Whatever you want, try to push for it mentally before you act physically. Before you take action. Think of it mentally. Push past this feeling of I can't, or it won't go, or it won't work. This is gaining back your optimism here. Fake it till you make it, Sag. Okay. That was intense.